Good morning, everybody. Take two. I tried doing this video yesterday or the day before. I think it was the day before. And 45-minute long video. No, I'm not going to torture you guys with that. It's a simple point. Excuse me while I get a drink of coffee. Very simple point that I want to make, because I keep hearing this term being used by a lot of the anti-gun Democrat, liberal progressives out there, and it's just, it bothers the hell out of me. And it's anytime anybody says that the general public has no right or no need for a military grade or a military type or a military style weapon, and I hear that garbage and I just sit there and think to myself, it's like, military grade, you mean like this? This M1 Garand 1944 production, Springfield Armory. It's a military grade rifle, but you don't hear anything about these things. This is actually probably the only true assault weapon that I own, because there's a good chance that this thing actually committed assault on another foreign country, because this was a Lend-Lease weapon and a U.S. military weapon. So, but when you say military grade, and you mean military grade, what exactly are you referring to? And by you, I mean them. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're probably not one of them. You're probably on my side for the most part. But there are some people out there that, you know, they want to keep their friends close and their enemies closer, that kind of thing. So there's that military weapon, a military grade weapon. And then there's also stuff like this. This 1873 Winchester, Uberti copy of a Winchester, obviously. But this is military grade. This is a lever action repeater, military grade. Military was issued these things. This is military grade. This was an assault weapon. This back in the day was used in the Plains Wars against Native Americans. You know, so military grade. These people, they don't even realize what the hell they're saying when they say military grade. Military grade. 1847 Colt Walker, Italian copy. Obviously, I don't have the bazillion dollars to buy an original, nor the $2,000 or $3,000 to buy a Colt copy, Colt branded copy, which even those were made by Uberti. So all you Colt collectors out there that bought reissued cap and ball pistols that were marketed by Colt with Colt brand name on them, guess what? Those all came out of Italy. Sorry to burst your bubble. But yeah, 1847, pre-Civil War, cap and ball, U.S. mounted rifleman. And this was the most powerful handgun in the world from 1847 until 1935, when the .357 Magnum came out. So, yeah, military grade, definitely military grade. Single Action Army Peacemaker, Italian copy, obviously. I love my little Uberti pistols. I've got two of these, actually three of them. My daughter has a .357. Mine are in .45 Colt. But Single Action Army, issued to the Army. These are military grade. So what are we talking about? You know, if I walked up to one of them and said, so when you say banning military grade firearms, does that include this? Oh, no, that's a cowboy gun. You can have that, but really it's a military grade pistol. Single Action Army, it's in the name. It's a military grade. So, you know, is it military grade in the current era where you're just sitting there running your yapper because you're afraid of a black rifle, an AR-15, or is it true military grade that goes all the way back? And I wish I had it here to show you, but it's in the garage and it's in pieces because I'm replacing the breech plug on my flintlock rifle. So I don't have a flintlock to show you, but in the 1700s, that was also a military grade weapon. Flintlocks were the only thing available, and those were definitely military grade. So it's like, come on, really? Military grade? Oh, so military grade. So this rifle here, many will argue, but I say this is the rifle that won the West. And it won the West because this was the one, this is the style of rifle that was used to nearly eradicate the plains bison, or as we say incorrectly, buffalo, to remove the food supply from the Native Americans at the time. And these were in percussion and carbine style. This is a heavy barrel, more of a Creedmoor style rifle with the military buttstock on it. Military buttstock with the patch box on there like that. I've got another video about this one on that goes through all the little ins and outs and little features and things of that nature on it. But anyway, the 1873 Winchester and 1876 Winchester were used in Indian wars back in the day, and so were the Henrys and the 1866 Yellow Boy and Spencer carbines and things of that nature. But those rifles really weren't used to take a tremendous amount of buffalo. The buffalo hunters, the commercial hunters and military, it was rifles like this. It was rifles like the Sharps. This is an 1874 falling block rifle. It's not truly an 1874 because the Sharps company came out with a new model Sharps that was like an 1875 or 1876 or even 1877. I'm not sure on the exact date of that, but they didn't want to call this rifle the old model Sharps, so they just made up a number and called it the 1874. And it's all done obviously for marketing. You know, people want the latest and greatest. They're not going to buy the old model, they want the new model. Well, if it's not called the old model, well, maybe they'll still buy it. Well, battery died on the camera. I'm not even going to try and fake this. I forgot where the hell I was at. But anyway, the whole thing is, you know, you got these people yapping military grade, and they need to understand, and we need to educate them, that when they say military grade, are they referring to current military grade? Because guess what? The Constitution was written so that the population of the United States could be in possession of military grade weapons. That's exactly what it meant. And it didn't mean anything other than that. Every time these idiots bring up something about, oh, well, we don't want your hunting rifle, where you tell me where in the goddamn Constitution it says anything about hunting. You know, the NRA has touted that one for a long time and has allowed the federal government to take away, chisel away at our rights, because they were supposedly after protecting hunters. And oh no, we're not going to take away your shotgun. We're not going to take away your bolt action rifle. We're not going to take away your deer gun. That's not the point of the Constitution. That's not the point of the Second Amendment. It's the prevention of government tyranny. And as long as you're not a criminal, as long as you're not a felon, as long as you're not a prohibited person, you should be able to own any damn thing you want, you know, period. I highly recommend and I highly believe that everyone should also seek training for their firearms that they own and learn how to shoot and learn how to store them and learn how to handle them and become trigger, you know, get your trigger discipline and your muzzle discipline up to snuff, because I see so many idiots out there just handling guns completely and totally wrong. And it's like, you guys need to be aware of where you're pointing these things and where your trigger finger is, for crying out loud. But that's a whole other topic. But no, we need to educate these people when they come up with these words of military grade, and it's like, yeah, they are military grade. And on that note, there's this whole faction of people out there that are denying the AR-15 as a military weapon, and that's completely and totally incorrect. And that's all you're doing is trying to make a concession. Oh no, it's not a military weapon. We want to keep our civilian weapons. These are civilian. No. The vast majority of M4s and M16s used in the military are kept on semi-automatic for the most part. The only time they're ever flipped to 3-round burst or full auto is when they really need to lay down some heavy suppressive fire to get out of a nasty situation. But the vast majority of the time, those rifles are kept on semi-auto. So to sit there and say that a rifle is not a military rifle simply because it has a selector switch on it that allows it to go fully automatic is then completely in denial that this rifle is a military rifle, even though it's only semi-automatic. So you cannot deny that this is a military grade military rifle, and quite possibly an assault rifle. Verb assault, not adjective assault. Okay? So if this is a military weapon and it's only semi-automatic, then you cannot deny that your AR-15 is a military grade weapon. And we need to make these people understand that yes, the AR-15, the most common rifle, the most popular rifle in American history, owned by more people in the United States than any other firearm known, okay? We need to make these people understand that yes, that is a military weapon, and yes, that is exactly what the Second Amendment allows the civilian to own. You know, that's exactly what we're talking about. And if anybody tries to, oh no, that's not a military weapon, you're in denial. You're in complete and total denial. That rifle is a military weapon, period. And it's allowed to be used by and owned by and possessed by civilians. And that's what the Second Amendment means. Okay, we have the NFA, which some people believe in, some people don't believe in, that prevents the mass proliferation of fully automatic and select fire firearms, which I live in a state where that's not even a possibility anyway, so I kind of don't have a dog in that fight, but, being a gun owner, I actually do. I would like to see the NFA go away, or at least have it completely and totally revamped where, like suppressors and things of that nature come off of it. But here, I'm getting off on a tangent, and this is going to turn into a 45-minute video, and I don't want it to be that way. Anyway, we need to educate these people. We need to educate these people on the terms they're using. We need to say, yes, the AR-15 is a military weapon, and yes, we have a right to that military weapon, because if you're going to classify it as a military grade weapon, that means flintlocks go away, that means lever actions go away, that means 1911s go away, that means any pistol that was used as a service pistol goes away. That means your 1911, your Beretta M9, your new SIGs, your Glocks, all those pistols go. As soon as we allow them to gain traction with that term that we're going to ban military grade weapons, well, guess what? That's another one of those broad terms that's undefinable, like the assault weapon. Like the assault weapon. Oh, it's an assault weapons ban. Well, what exactly does that mean? Well, then they came up with all these arbitrary features that literally mean nothing, and it only describes how the weapon looks and not how it functions. We can't give them traction, guys. We can't give them any leverage on this at all. So, going back to military grade, and it's like, well, what military grade are you talking about? Because this was military grade in the 19th century. So, are we talking 19th century military grade? Are we talking 18th century military grade? Are we talking matchlock military grade from the freaking 1600s? You know? And for that matter, how about bows and arrows? Those were military grade. And you want to go back to the Crusades? That was military grade. You know, how far you want to go? You see how broad of a term this is? That's what I'm getting at. So anyway, without dragging this on and going off on some bloody tangent and you know, dragging this thing out to a 3-hour video, that's my rant. Now you know a little bit more about how I feel about the firearms I own and the politics of where I live. You know, it's just we gotta embrace that term, military rifle, and we gotta turn it around and use it against them. So, but anyway, happy. I'm gonna try and get this thing up today. Knowing my computer, it's going to take a couple hours to edit and get it uploaded. Upload speed's the hardest. Anyway, here again, I'm going off on tangents. Going to turn a goddamn 20-minute video into a 30-minute, 40 freaking 2-hour video. Anyway, have a nice day. I'm done. If I don't shut up, I won't shut the camera off. You know, can't wait around for the battery to die. I just put a fresh one in. That thing ain't going to die for another hour. Have a good one.